Hi everyone, my name is Thatcher Kamen, and on behalf of MDG, we bring you another episode of 3x5. That's 3 takeaways in 5 minutes. And on today's episode, we are joined by Connor Stewart, the agency's public relations specialist, talking about how to navigate social media during the pandemic. So Connor, tell us right now about how social media, you see it being used, and how often should people be posting to social media during the pandemic?
Yeah, that's a great question. All in, now is not the time to stay silent. Social media is at an all time high. And so your audience is going to want to hear from you now more than ever. Remember, at the end of the day, what your audience has followed you for, and acknowledge that the pandemic has not ended that need, it's actually greatly increased it. And social media today is the closest that we're going to get to face interactions in today's new normal. And it's going to act as your number one tool to show that you're there for your audience, you understand their challenges, and it's going to allow you to assure them that you will continue to deliver that value that you always have. So it's important to remain maybe as active as you were on social media, if not even more active during this time of gathering restrictions and social distancing.
Yes, obviously a great way to get in front of your audience right now and still allow for interaction during the COVID-19 pandemic. Connor, great point. What type of content do you think should also be posted?
Yeah, the main thing you want to ensure is that your content is relevant and relatable. Your audience is going to need to feel confident in the fact that they are following and learning from that is really in tune to what's happening within their industries and the world in general. So, with things changing so rapidly, it's really important to update your social media creation and scheduling process so that it can be more agile. So, if you've scheduled your content a month in advance, you need to take this time right now to go through and unschedule all that content. During these uncertain times, you're going to want and schedule your content week by week or maybe even day by day to ensure that that content is relevant to your audience. And while it's not necessary to adjust your entire content strategy, so it's all related to the pandemic, it's important to look through the lens of today and ensure that it's applicable to your audience's lives currently. Otherwise, you can risk seeming insensitive or out of touch. So, the main thing that you'll want to do in terms of just different types of content is to avoid posting anything that's going to fuel concerns. This can be images of handshaking from a networking session or maybe a large group of people, any open trays of food. Those things are only going to spark concerns today. So what you'll want to do instead is put your content focus on education offerings. That can be an education presentation or a keynote presentation. Those types of things will avoid any concerns and also can be held virtually if you have to pivot and make a change for your event. And lastly, keep in mind that your audience has more time than ever for education based content. So, readership on articles, webinar participation, and video views are at an all time high. So, consider producing those types of educational resources that your audience can take advantage of with their downtime.
Relevant and relatable content for your audience is so crucial right now. Connor, can you give us any tips in terms of the tools that should be used during the COVID-19 pandemic in terms of social media?
Yeah, you don't want to confine your social media strategy to the traditional tweets and posts. Those are great, but you're also going to want to use some of the tools that have actually always been out there that are community building tools. At the end of this, physical distancing should encourage you to utilize more robust tools to deliver higher quality content, listen to your industry's needs, and get to know your followers on a more personal level. So, one of the things that you can try to aim for is building two-way conversations. And you can do this by conducting webinars or maybe Q&A sessions on Facebook Live, or you can hold some Twitter chats. So tools and tactics like this allow you to have active conversations with your following. You can explore topics that they're most interested in real time. And all of this ultimately builds your organization's industry thought leadership and allows you to really be in tune and have conversations with your following. Another great tool to look at are Facebook and LinkedIn groups. These are great platforms that can help you build communities around a particular topic. And if you don't necessarily have the time or bandwidth to create and manage one of these groups, there's already so many industry specific groups out there that your audience is already members of. So do some research, see what groups that they're already participating in, join yourselves, then you can leverage your original thought leadership content and share them on these groups to reach a very targeted niche group of people that are looking for resources that you produce. So have all these tools already existed? Yes, they've been out there, but usage is at an all-time high. And during this time of gathering restrictions and social distancing, your audience is going to be looking for human connections. And tools like these can help preserve socialization and continue your ability to build connections within your industry.
That's excellent, Connor. If we can leave people with 3 main takeaways about social media and staying connected with your audience right now, what would they be?
All in, what you're going to want to do is make sure that you're not staying silent on social media. Acknowledge that your audience still sees you as a key industry resource, and make sure that you're providing resources of them to value. Ensure that you are looking at all of your content through the lens of today's day and age and the new normal, and make sure that it is relevant and applicable to your audience. And last, ensure that you are leveraging the social media tools at your disposal that help you have two-way conversations with your audience and build your community.
This has all been great, Connor. Thank you so much for your time today, and thank you to everybody else for tuning into this episode of 3 by 5. That's 3 takeaways in 5 minutes.
Thanks for having me, Thatcher.